Why does Israel fear Iran so deeply that it was willing to start a war that shook the entire planet to prevent it from growing stronger? Today, we tell both sides of this story. No agenda, no politics, just the truth. In February 2026, while peace negotiations were still ongoing, while diplomats were still sitting at tables trying to find a solution, Israel and the United States launched one of the most devastating surprise military strikes in modern history, Operation Epic Fury. Hundreds of missiles, thousands of sorties, targeting not just military sites, but the very heart of the Iranian government. Within hours, Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei was dead. The Middle East was on fire, and the world was asking one question. Welcome to the third vision. Watch till the end to unfold the reality of Iran. To understand why Israel fears Iran, you have to go back to 1979. Before that year, Israel and Iran were actually close allies. Iran under Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi had full diplomatic relations with Israel. Iranian oil flowed to Israel. Israeli engineers worked in Iran. The two countries cooperated on intelligence and military matters. Then, in 1979, everything changed overnight. The Islamic Revolution swept away the Shah. Ayatollah Khomeini came to power, and one of his very first acts as supreme leader was to declare Israel an illegitimate state that must be wiped from the map. In Tehran, a countdown clock was installed in a public square, counting down the years, months, days, until what Iran called the end of Israel. From that moment, two nations that were once allies became the bitterest of enemies. But Iran was smart. Rather than attacking Israel directly, Iran spent decades building a ring of armed groups surrounding Israel on every side. In Lebanon, Iran funded and trained Hezbollah, a military force so powerful that it fought Israel to a standstill in 2006. In Gaza, Iran provided weapons and funding to Hamas. In Syria, Iran established military bases just kilometers from Israel's border. In Yemen, Iran backed the Houthi movement that launched missiles at Israeli cities. In Iraq, Iran funded militias that targeted American and Israeli interests. This strategy, which military analysts call the Ring of Fire, meant that Israel was surrounded on all sides by forces loyal to Tehran. Without Iran ever firing a single missile from Iranian soil, Israel found itself encircled. This is what kept Israeli generals awake at night. Not Iran's army, but Iran's reach. And then there is the issue that has defined the Israel-Iran conflict for 2 decades: nuclear weapons. Iran has always insisted its nuclear program is peaceful, for energy production only. Iran's supreme leader Khamenei even issued a religious ruling, a fatwa, banning nuclear weapons as forbidden in Islam. International inspectors repeatedly found no evidence of an active nuclear weapons program. But Israel was not convinced, because even without a nuclear bomb, Iran was enriching uranium to levels dangerously close to weapons grade. Israeli and American negotiators were on the verge of a breakthrough deal in Geneva that could have stopped Iran's nuclear program peacefully, when Netanyahu lobbied Trump to abandon diplomacy and launch military strikes instead. For Israel, a nuclear-capable Iran, even without an actual bomb, was simply too great a risk to accept. Long before any missiles flew in 2026, Israel and Iran had already been fighting a secret war for years. Iranian nuclear scientists were assassinated in broad daylight, with sophisticated explosives hidden in their cars. Iran blamed Israel. Israel never confirmed or denied. A mysterious computer virus called Stuxnet destroyed hundreds of Iranian nuclear centrifuges from the inside, setting Iran's program back years. Iran blamed Israel and America. Critical Iranian military facilities exploded without explanation. Iranian drone factories burned to the ground. And in response, Iranian-linked groups launched cyberattacks on Israeli infrastructure, attempted assassinations of Israeli diplomats around the world, attacks on Israeli tourists. This shadow war had been running for over a decade, invisible to most of the world, but felt deeply by both sides. By the time 2026 arrived, both nations had already been at war for years, just not openly. On February 28, 2026, Trump authorized Operation Epic Fury, a joint US-Israeli military operation targeting Iran's leadership, nuclear facilities, and military infrastructure. The strikes were launched during active peace negotiations, shocking even some American officials. Netanyahu had spent months coordinating with the Trump administration to get approval for the strikes, seeing what analysts called a rare window of opportunity when Iran was at its weakest. Within hours, Supreme Leader Khamenei was dead. Senior military commanders were killed. Nuclear facilities were destroyed. Iran's air defenses were shattered, and Iran responded exactly as it had always promised it would. Hundreds of missiles and drones flew toward Israel, toward American bases, toward Arab capitals. The Strait of Hormuz slammed shut. The world held its breath. Now here is where we must be honest and present both sides fairly. From Israel's perspective, Iran had spent 40 years funding groups dedicated to Israel's destruction. Iran had built missiles capable of hitting every city in Israel. Iran was months away from nuclear capability. The countdown clock in Tehran was real. The threat was real. Acting was not aggression, it was survival. From Iran's perspective, Israel had been conducting assassinations and sabotage inside Iran for years. Iran had not attacked Israel directly until attacked first. Iran's nuclear program was peaceful and legal. The strikes came during active negotiations, not as a last resort, but as a choice to destroy diplomacy before it could succeed. Both perspectives, when examined honestly, reveal a conflict far more complex than either side admits publicly. On April 7, 2026, a conditional ceasefire was declared, mediated by Pakistan. But the Strait of Hormuz remains effectively closed, with shipping at just 5% of normal levels. Israel fears that Trump may make a deal with Iran that leaves the nuclear program partially intact, which Israeli officials say would mean the war was unfinished. Iran has appointed Khamenei's son as the new supreme leader, considered more hardline than his father. Negotiations continue. The outcome remains uncertain. And in the middle of all of this, ordinary people on both sides, Iranian civilians, Israeli families, Arab populations across the region, are paying the price for a conflict between governments that shows no signs of truly ending. The story of why Israel fears Iran is not a simple story of good versus evil. It is a story of two nations, both convinced the other threatens their survival, both willing to go to extraordinary lengths to protect their people, both trapped in a cycle of fear and retaliation that has lasted nearly 50 years. The 2026 war did not begin this conflict, and a ceasefire alone will not end it, because the real war, the war of ideology, of nuclear ambition, of regional dominance, that war has no clear ending in sight. This is the third vision. See beyond the unknown. We don't take sides, we don't push agendas, we just show you the world as it truly is, from every angle. If this video gave you a different perspective, subscribe and hit the bell, because every single week, we go deeper into the stories the world is too afraid to tell honestly.